everybody, and welcome to Try It Tuesday. Today we're going to be working on the GelMoment Stamping Kit. So the stamping kit comes with all of these pieces here. So we have 3 stamping plates. Each plate has 12 different designs on it, so you have 36 designs in totals. So we've got animal prints, we've got hearts and lips, we've got chevrons, stripes, flowers, lace, all sorts of different designs on here. So 36 different designs to choose from. It also comes with our little scraping plastic plate. You get 3 GelMoment stamping gels. These are thicker than our polishes, so these are gels. They come in gold, white, and black. You also get your stamping tool. It's a double-ended tool. It has sticky silicone ends on it. So that's your smaller end and your larger end. And it also comes with replacements, little replacement ones for the ends of the stamping kit. So we're going to get started with a stamp today. We're going to be working on a nail stick. As you can see, my nails are bare right now. I am giving them a day of love, a day of fortifying cuticle oil before I go back to painting them again. So they are just resting for the day today. So I'm going to be working on a nail stick. So as always, when you're going to be doing stamping gel, it's no different than what you're going to do with your regular prep. So to regularly prep my nail, I'm going to take my buffing side and I'm going to do a very gentle buff. Down the sides, across the top, and through the middle. Very lightly, less than 10 seconds just to buff that up. Then I'm going to take one of my nail cleansers, tear the top off, and I'm going to cleanse my nail. I'm also going to cleanse underneath the nail, so that would be like under here, because that's where lots of grime and oils like to live. Make sure you get your sidewalls. And then I usually tuck my little wipe back inside so that I can use it again and the alcohol doesn't dissipate off of it. I usually do that and then just fold it over and put it aside. So once the alcohol is dried off of that, we're going to get to painting the base color on. So we're going to work with Lily of the Nile today. It's a beautiful blue color. I'm going to roll the polish, not shake it. We don't want bubbles. And then roll my brush around to get as much polish off as possible because we want to be working with thin layers. So I'm going to avoid that cuticle by pushing the polish towards and then pulling it down towards the end. I'm going to avoid my sidewalls, but if I do happen to get some polish on my sidewalls or my cuticles, I'm going to clean it up before I cure. Just with my little wipe, I can do it. I can do it with my cuticle pusher, or I can do it with a nail or just a regular makeup brush, a cosmetic brush, or one from your creativity set, dipped in a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and that will just clean the polish up before you cure it. I also want to make sure that I cap the tip of my nail and then smooth it back out so it's nice thin coats. I'm going to pop that in my light to cure, move my bottle away from the light. So like I said, if you did happen to get some, I would take a little brush and I would clean the edges before I went to cure my polish. That includes when you're capping the tip, if you happen to get any of that underneath your nail, you would use the alcohol to clean it like that. So we're going to be using Lily of the Nile, and with that we're going to do some of the black stamping gel for this tutorial. So I'm using my professional lamp, so it's 45 seconds to cure in the professional lamp and the deluxe lamp. If I was using a mini lamp, it would take just a little bit longer. It's a 60-second cure in the mini lamp. So there we go, I've got one coat on there, and I'm just going to give it a nice second coat, another thin coat, to ensure that it's not translucent. I want this to be opaque, so I'm going to give it the second coat but I don't need to do it super thick just to make it opaque. If I do it too thick, it's not going to cure properly. So again, avoiding your cuticles, avoiding your sidewalls, and giving yourself a nice, clean manicure, and always capping that tip and smoothing it out. And I'll pop that in, cure that for another 45 seconds, and I'm done with my polish. So while that's curing, I'm going to get our stamping plate ready. So I've decided that I'm going to do this kind of wavy design over here, something a little bit different. So I'm going to be using our black stamping gel. Make sure that I'm well into the frame here. Okay, so in order to do the stamping, you're going to remove the cap and you're going to squish a small amount just into the center of your stamping plate, and you can kind of move it around a little bit. Cap that and move it away. Then you're going to take this little plastic little scraper that comes with your kit, and you're going to use it at an angle, and you're going to push that polish across the stamping plate. And you're going to do this a few times, and what that does is it actually pushes the polish into the grooves of the design. And that's what we're looking to do, is push that polish right into the grooves, and then you're going to lift it at a bit of a higher angle, about a 45-degree angle, and you're going to scrape the top off so that you don't see the polish on the top, because you just want the polish inside the grooves to transfer. Now this can get a little bit messy. I usually keep a little paper towel or a Kleenex on the side to lay this on so I don't get the polish on anything else. Now I'm going to take my stamp and I'm going to use the larger side of my stamp. It's clear, sticky. And I am going to be taking this stamp and I'm going to be rolling it across my design here. I do not want to push really hard because that's going to make it spread out and it's going to distort your design. You just want to just gently roll it across to pick that design up. So I'm going to go from one side across, and as you can see, I've picked that design up now. So I will move my stamping plate out of the way. And here is my nail. You can see that there. So I'm going to do the same motion with my stamp here. Now that I've got it transferred on here, I'm going to be rolling it across my nail. So you can actually even, if you'd like, you can take the little stamper off the bottom so that you can see through the bottom of here when you're placing that stamp, and it just gives you a little bit more control, that you can see through the bottom where you're lining that stamp up. So I'm going to put that on, roll it across, and pull it off. So now I have that design across my nail. Now if this was on my finger, like this, when I rolled that stamper across, I'm going to actually roll it across my bare nail so I can show you what I'm talking about. When I rolled that stamp across my actual bare nail, what's going to happen is I'm going to have ink on my surrounding skin. The nail stick, obviously I don't, because there is no surrounding skin. But this is what is supposed to happen. So what you'll do, after you finish the stamp, before you cure your nail, is you're going to take your cleansing wipe and you're going to clean up the ink that is on your finger and on your cuticle and on your sidewalls here. So you can fold your little wipe so it's a nice point so that you can get right in there and make sure you take all that polish off the skin. Like that. and once it's all clean, then you would cure the polish. If you made a mistake and you didn't like the look of that, you changed your mind, you want to try something different, you're just going to take your cleansing wipe and you're going to wipe it off. Like I said, I just have a little bit of Fortify on my nails right now. You would have polish on there, and that alcohol wipe is just going to wipe that off, and then you can try again. Move this. I'm going to wipe out of the way. I'm going to throw this into the lamp and cure that design on there. So for cleanup, I'm going to take that alcohol wipe and I'm going to just quickly wipe it over my stamping pad, or over my stamping plate, excuse me, like that. And that's going to clean up the alcohol on there, or, oh my goodness, the ink off of there. Oh, and then I'm going to take actually the same cleansing wipe and I'm going to do the same on my scraping plate here and just clean the ink off of that. So I'm ready to go there. Now you might get a little bit of a film from the alcohol on your plate here. When I'm done, I usually take these to the sink and give them a little bit of a wash with a little bit of dish soap and water, and then dry it with a paper towel, and it shines it right back up again. You don't have that film. So there you go. Your pattern is completely dry, and you have kind of a little funky design on your nail there. So to clean up the stamp, it's a little bit different. I don't use my alcohol wipe to clean my stamp off because I find it makes it a little bit cloudy. I don't know if you can, if the camera picks that up, but you can see this is a little bit cloudy. I wasn't aware that that's what would happen. So the first time I used it, I wasn't following instructions very well, and I used the alcohol wipe and it's cloudy. It still works just as well, but I like that this one has remained clear no matter how many times I've used it. So to clean that off, I'm just going to use a piece of tape. And get another piece of tape just to get the little bit left. And as you peel the tape off, the ink comes off with it. So there we go. It's all clean now. And then I can just cap it and it's good to go. So that's as basic as the stamping kit as you can do with your stamping kit. But you know me, we're gonna go one step further with this one. I'm gonna show you another little trick that you can do. So I have pre-coated this nail here stick with I Pink You. It's a beautiful, really soft pink. And I want to do a stamp on here, but then I want to chrome just the stamp. So I don't want the whole nail to be chromed. I just want the design to be chromed. So I'm going to show you a trick on how to do that. So chromes only like to stick to freshly cured polish. And this is fairly freshly cured. I did it right before I started filming. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the buffing side and I'm going to buff the shine off this polish. Now, chrome doesn't like to stick to buffed out polish. So I'm just going to take this so that the chrome will not stick to any of this pink that's been buffed. I don't want to buff too much. I don't want to be taking the polish off. I'm just looking to take the shine off. That should pretty much be it. Okay, so now we're going to work with our white stamping gel. And I think we were going to pick, I'm going to do this little flower design here. So same thing, I've picked my design, I've picked my stamping gel, and I'm just going to put a little bit of the stamping gel in the middle of my plate. I don't need too much. I'm not going to do a massive design on here. Take your little plastic scraper, and again you're going to be squishing the ink into the pattern. If you don't feel like it's covering enough of that pattern for you, you can always add a little bit more ink. I think I maybe wasn't quite generous enough with it, so I'm going to just add a little bit more. And again, this ink isn't going to dry out until I cure it, so I have a little bit of time to play. So I've scraped across. I can even take a side that has no ink on it at all and do another quick scrape across to ensure that I've got all the ink off that surface and that the ink is only in the inlays of the design. And I will put that aside. So back to my little stamping tool here. Roll it across. I've picked my design up. Stamping plate out of the way. Now this does take a little bit of practice, and you probably, the first couple times you do it, you will probably wipe it off and try again. So there we go. I've got my little chrome on there. Now I've got a couple little parts down here that are sort of half flowers. I don't want those on there. So I'm going to take my little brush and I'm just going to wipe those off because I didn't want half flowers on there. I just wanted the whole flowers. There we go. So I'm going to pop that in the lamp, cure that, and while it's curing, just going to do the quick cleanup of my stamp. And that's clean. Cap it. Put the other one, a little nubbly back on the bottom there. Aside. And I'm just going to take a new cleansing wipe because that other one had black ink all over it. And just a quick cleanup. Clean that. And my stamping plate. Scraper here. So that alcohol just dissolves the ink. And we'll just move those aside. And I'll throw those cleansing wipes in the trash. So here we are. And I've got this beautiful white design on a buffed background. So the chrome is going to stick just to that design now. So I'm going to choose, you see I've got all my chromes here. I'm going to choose my Southern Lights chrome. I'm going to stay in the pinks for this one. So the Southern Light chrome is a beautiful pink. I'm just going to grab one of my little applicator brushes that come with all your chromes. And as you can see, I love this chrome and I have used it a ton and it is still almost completely filled to the top. Chromes are one of those things that you do not have to replace very often because, or even if at all, because you use so little of it. So I'm just going to take, I can actually even take the chrome that's in the cap and get that onto my brush. And I'm going to just rub it over my design. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. And as you can see, the chrome is only sticking to the stamp design. It's not sticking to the buffed out part of the nail. So there we go. So I'll cap that. Now chromes, as you know if you've worked with chromes before, do not go under the lamp by themselves to be cured. You will need to top the chromes with a Clearly Frisky. which I'm trying to find right here. Our Clearly Frisky is our clear gel polish, and you will need to seal your chrome with a clear coat, and that will prevent it from washing off. The nice thing about the Clearly Frisky too is it will bring that shine back to that pink polish, so you won't even know that you actually buffed that pink polish off. And then you also make sure you cap with your Clearly Frisky as well. Doing it rather quickly. And I'll pop that in the light and move my polish away. So that's it. That's how simple it is to use our stamping kit. So again, you don't use very much of the stamping gel, you use very little of it, so it, oh, I got stamp on my nail there. You use very little of the stamping gel, so it does go a long way. You can, in the future, they're hoping to come out with some other colors, but in the meantime, while we just have the 3 colors, it's really nice to know that you can use the stamp and then use any one of your 12 chrome colors to change those just having 3 of your stamping gels to having a lot more options when it comes to the colors that you can use. So there we go. So even though I don't have pink stamping gel, I've now made a pink stamp just using my chrome. So thanks for watching. Try it Tuesdays. If you have any questions, post them below and I will answer them as I see them. Have yourselves a great night.